Welcome. Thank you for joining me on the first ever episode of the Date Me podcast. My name is Queen Gadoni, and I'm joined by an amazing person, guest, friend, who's going to introduce himself, rocking my new jacket. Why?
Because I wear my L's very proudly.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I need to learn that from you.
Yeah.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Rama. If you know me from social media, I'm Ramsey. If you know me in the boardroom, I am Rama Oloch. And I am a creative person. Yes.
Awesome. Today we're not here to talk about his creativity. We're here to banter about kuoga na kurudi soko. Rama, umerudi soko ama bado?
Ina depend by the unajua like soko is very relative. Like, just say soko ni ugali by the bei ugali mpanda.
Umepata dem ama bado uko tu far?
Bado niko fun times.
So utafuti?
Sasa natafuta dem saizi. Yeah.
Sawa. I've realized for a very long time, every time we say or msichana break up na mtu wake and they're moving on, a lot of times conversation ukuwa side ya dem, especially ka dem akona mtoi. At all times kuna kwanga conversation ya mi siwezi date dem akona mtoi juu anaweza nitoka rudie buda mtoi, right? What's the other side?
The other side is the other side of the street. Acha nikwambie story funny. A situation too, like innocently I was hanging out with a friend. Nikamshow, hey manze, you have some hot buddies, you know, like you guys are really meoga. What's happening? So you introduce me to some of your friends. I can show him say, no, siko baya, but my friends don't date bros who have toys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, did they give a reason?
Hakunipea a reason, okay. I took it as a challenge, but
of course. Typical man shit. Typical man shit.
We don't take no for an answer. Who? Me? Never.
Wacha nikushow. Challenge accepted.
It's something that I'm realizing it's a reality.
Yeah.
The other day I was telling my friends, you know, it's easier for a guy to be a stepdad than it is for a woman to be a stepmom, and that's something I'm realizing now.
Yeah.
That I'm back in the streets.
And now you come with a caveat type of terms and conditions.
Yeah, I'm like a shinde with two toy cars.
Yeah. You're the one with a car with two. Kuna vitu za watoto hapo nyuma. Kuna babysit hapo nyuma.
Kuna babysit huko nyuma. So, you know, like I have responsibilities.
Right.
So I'm very intentional, very careful about if I say I'm in a relationship, like it has to be someone who's ready for that type of, you know, life. Like on some weekends nakwambia by the leo nenda kucheza na watoto wangu, and you should be okay with that.
With that, yeah. So do you think that maybe then ukiwa na mtoi ni poa kudate mse ako na mtoi?
To a degree, yeah. But ina depend. Unajua ukisema mse ako na mtoi ina depend ni mhot aje. Mi saizi mini dilf. Only looking for milfs.
Mini milf. But sitafuti.
Even me sitafuti. So okay. Like I'm not actively. This is the thing about dating size in the scene. I think sometimes even me I'm put off. Nikiongelesha msa alafu na msa anatafuta sana, I'm like, hey, kwani wewe mse ujipendi ama upendi freedom kukaa peke yako? If you look like you're searching too much, then even me I'm put off, like wewe mse come pole.
Okay.
To like just have fun. Ikifika hiyo point ya mse na kulike, tutafika tutaongea, but have fun, relax, hakuna speedy.
Okay. Yeah. If you were not a popular person, ikifika kwa conversation ya kudate, after how long do you tell a person you have children? If you're interested in a person.
Day one utajua.
Oh.
Because niko na dad jokes wazimu.
Umekuwa ukipractice?
Day one utajua tu niko na watu mse.
Nipatie dad joke moja basi.
Sasa see the thing about dad jokes, so
they have to be set up in conversation.
They come like rain.
Okay.
So they come like rain, as in ukinipatia tu context, ni hapa kuna ka joke zinadunda tu out of nowhere.
Tukiendelea hapa na conversation, I hope at some point tutanigonga dad joke moja mbili.
Usijali zitakuja.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what's it like having your I'm sorry for getting personal. I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
But what is it like having your relationship in the limelight like that, the breakup and everything else? And what is it that you've learned to shelter yourself going into the next date or into the next relationship, if you ever?
I think the setup.
Yeah.
A lot of times people, I don't fantasize, like, like the people live vicariously through other people. Mm-hmm. So I realized after, don't call it a breakup or a separation, I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think about it a lot like that. I realized that putting myself out there on such a personal level like that sort of made a lot of people live through me. So they don't see me as an individual with my own thoughts, with my own wants and needs and my own urgencies. Like I have my own ambitions, my own dreams. So every time I chat with someone, it's like kama anataka mapenzi, anataka kupendwa kama zile video aliona. So it's like
mimi nataka hii
so like for a lot of people I'm packaged like that. And for me, what I've learned is that when I'm out there, I find it very interesting, and I'm very free around guys who don't know me from anywhere. Like we just met.
Yeah.
We're having a good conversation.
They like you for who they've just met.
No, not that image I put out there.
Right.
And not that person you assume I am.
Right.
Because like I like reminding guys that if you ever saw me on YouTube, that was like 30 minutes every week of my life. And I don't know how many hours there are in a week.
Yeah.
You says piga hiyo hesabu saizi. But those were highlights of myself.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm a very layered person. Even
so
in
30
that regard,
minutes. 30 minutes is not enough to show you my whole
30
life.
minutes. 30 minutes of me in a week is a very, very different, because it's curated by it's a curation of myself. It's not entirely. I don't want to say it's not me, but it's a very small drop in the ocean of who I am.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So if you ever start dating a person and you actually realize, you know what, udempoa anajua niko na watoi, she's cool with it, anamit watoi when?
Mi nakuanga na policy moja, even before I had kids. I don't want to meet your kids if this thing is not going anywhere. Because I don't want your toys to have...
But how do you know? Because it could look like it's going somewhere and then...
Okay, when it looks like it's going somewhere, it's fine.
Right.
But if at the very beginning, I can tell, but they were here for fun. I'm not here for anything serious. And I don't hide my intentions with anyone, by the way. I don't feel the need to lie to people in order to have access to certain areas of themselves that they think are very intimate and stuff like that. So I don't lie. And so in that regard, for me, before you meet my children or before I meet your kids, it has to be something that I can see is headed somewhere. Because one thing I don't want for my kids is them to see everyone as an auntie.
Right.
And I don't want to be in a situation where also someone else's child is just like, uncle, kila mtu ni uncle. Because I've been in a situation where I went for a birthday party and I was meeting this toy for the first time and she called me daddy. And I was
my God!
What?
Why?
Hey, Why? How far you were? Mama yako na muvaje bana. I met you today and you're calling me daddy. So I found that very, very, very disturbing. And that's something I want to protect my kids from a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but from my experience, what I have done when I've dated and I've introduced the person to my daughter, I do not introduce them as uncle or as anything.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just a friend.
Even say, for example, Dan has met my daughter.
Yeah.
But my daughter will constantly remember him because of the conversations they had.
Yeah.
But there was no title to whatever I introduced Dan as.
Yeah.
This is my homie.
Yeah.
This homie is around.
Yeah.
You will see this homie around.
Yeah.
But there's no title to that homie.
So now for me, I think because I'm very cautious about about myself and my life. Like my situation's a bit different because I used to be out there. My kids were out there. So I don't want anybody fangirling my kids. Like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. Oh my gosh, I remember you when you were being born.
I totally understand because I get the same thing because my daughter was on TV for 9 years.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people who meet her, there's that moment of fangirling. And now I can't tell if this relationship is genuine, if this friendship is genuine, or there. But there's also this fangirling that is healthy, that is I used to watch you and you're actually quite impressive, and that's it.
Like for me, it's like, if you've never met my kids, please introduce yourself like someone who's never met. Yeah, because these are toys. They can't process. They don't.
All of that
they don't watch their own videos.
True,
they don't watch their own videos. And I'd love for them to have a bit of stranger danger in them. Like they have to know this person.
A stranger.
This person is a stranger until they know me and I know them.
Right.
Yeah, because even just on a random day, like, I'd be walking around with my kids and, hi, Nani. I'm like, bro, I don't do that to other people's
kids.
Yeah, please just, can you respect that? Yeah, respect that. I've had that situation before at Java. Sometimes it comes off as rudeness.
Right.
But to me, it's more of, I'm protecting my kids. Like,
so there has to be like a whole manual of how you date going forward.
Yes, for me, that's like, I'm in the process now building that manual before I even consider dating. Because right now I'm just happy out there hanging out with my friends. I think friendships are very important by the way.
Oh, absolutely, 100.
Yeah, so right now I'm in dates with my friends.
Right.
We go out, we have fun, I dance.
How are you taking the banter?
The banter is, if anything that doesn't kill you, by the way,
makes you stronger.
It makes you stronger. Yeah.
Right.
So like I think it's very important for anybody to have the ability to laugh at themselves.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
like
true.
if you don't have that ability, then your life is just so much harder for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good place to be in.
Yes.
Welcome back to the streets. This is how cold it is.
It's very cold.
I hope you're strapped in. I hope you have enough sweaters. I hope you have an iron box to iron your sheets. It's about to get worse.
No, I was actually warned.
Yeah?
I was warned about...
Hey, the streets have become different. Do you know that thread on Twitter?
Yeah.
About being on the streets?
Yeah.
And why... That guy who said he does not want to be single because the streets are different.
It's different.
The streets are really different.
I really have to remind myself to stay dangerous because... if you left the street as a general, you have to come back as a general, but always be aware that you're in a different environment. It's not the same thing you left when you...
Yeah, because things have changed. How people date has changed.
Yeah,
people now talk openly about having open relationships.
I know, like, guys are like, okay, me, I'm polyamorous. I'm like,
okay.
If you're okay with me sharing, then you have to be okay with me being shared. Being shared.
Right.
So it's a different... Yeah, it's a different thing, like... And also, like, just... Guys are so, what's the word? People are very free now.
Right.
There's a lot of very open.
Yeah.
Guys are just very open-minded.
It's true.
And if you're looking for the roller coaster rides, there's a part of the Soko that exists. Yes. You can have the drama. You can have another side of it that's very discreet. Like you can just enjoy everything and just
be quiet about it.
Yes. Or you can be like me, like just talk about your experiences. Like this is what I'm experiencing.
Right.
I am having a lot of fun.
Being vulnerable
out there and also just joking about my experiences. Like if I give guys stories like once every 3 months, I tell you about a crazy incident.
Bro, and then they find that as bait to just banter you.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Rama, you didn't have to put that tweet out.
Yeah, I know. So and see, my friends come to me, like I have good friends. So sometimes they come to me like, Rama, you're scaring the babes. You're scaring the babes with these stories. I'm like, sometimes I'll be like, hey, kuna baridi. It's not making fun of myself. Hey, kuna baridi. And you say, how goes it? Who wants a mubaba? Nani anadai? Leo niko ready. And then someone shows up and you're like, oh, I was joking. But I was serious. I was joking. So it's fun. It's fun, yeah.
It's nice. But it's also a good place to be in where you're not looking. You're just gathering yourself again.
Content,
you're content with yourself.
Like,
you love yourself. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, it's very important to fill your cup before you start to pour it out again.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Who would have thought?
It's me.
Manze, lakini acha kuvaa hii kitu ya Man U bana.
Bro, acha nikushow kitu moja. Manchester United is like a religion. You know, to me, it's like a religion. So, like, whoever is interested, just know by the like on Saturdays, Sundays, mi napenda kuona ball. So either you watch football with me.
You watch the L's with him.
You watch the L's with me.
Or nothing.
Or like if you like attention and I'm watching football, just know by the like,
90 minutes. At least 90 minutes. At
for
least for 3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Build up.
Yeah. Build up, game time, after game,
highlights.
Post-match analysis.
Yes.
You know, like sometimes I even talk about football on my platforms. Like I'll just be, my weekends are just for ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. So on this podcast, one other thing we do, besides talking about relationships, we play a game about relationships.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another part. I'll tell you that other part when we'll get there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So for every question I ask, you have 3 flags in front of you.
Okay.
A green flag, a red flag, and a white flag.
Okay.
So I'll take my card.
Uh-huh.
And I'll ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So from the questions, you decide if this is a trait of a person you date. If it's something good, it's a green flag.
Okay.
If it's something bad, it's a red flag. If it's in the middle, it's white flag.
Okay.
Right? And you can explain it.
So I can keep the flags in my hand.
Yes, you can keep them in your hand or you can pick them. Element of surprise, whichever you please.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just lift whatever makes sense.
Okay. All right. If you meet a person and they don't want kids, why?
I mean, like...
Because you have kids?
I mean, if you don't like kids and just...
they don't hate kids. They don't want kids.
They don't want kids. Okay,
yeah.
Put a white.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. If the bestie is of the opposite sex.
Only because I put a white because I'm not insecure in that sense. But if you have a bestie who's of the opposite sex, then you should be okay with me having a bestie of the opposite sex.
Oh, that's how we're moving now. So it's bait. It's bait.
No, it's
so you're not 100% okay with it.
I mean, like, honestly, like, this is the thing though. Like, okay, you're trying to tell me, like, of all the people of the same genders you have interacted with, there's nobody who's good enough to be your best friend except that one person.
I mean, there's definitely a background. I didn't just wake up and I picked them. Like, they've been in my life for time.
Okay, I have a friend like that. So then, then if you're okay with you having a friend like that, then I can have a friend like that. So that's actually, for me, that's okay.
Because... I mean, when you put it like that, then it looks like it's not just a bestie, it's a bestie.
You see, the thing what I know about besties, because I used to be someone's bestie. You mark time. A lot of guys are mark timing.
They're just waiting for come next show.
Is that guy treating you well? You know, when you guys are having stress, me have a show, I bring my shoulder to lean on.
Which is basically just a dick to ride on.
Have someone ever breathed on your neck at your and then you feel that warmth on your neck. And then after that...
the panties in your hand.
I might have a boyfriend.
Wait, Aki, stop.
Yeah,
Next thing you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, if they're an astrology person,
I'll give a white. Depends on, like, you see, astrology is fine because me, I identify as a Gemini.
Right.
But then once you start,
once Mercury starts to retrograde.
Yeah, once you start reading like horoscopes every day and just basing your life on things or just excusing everything. Like I never stand up to anyone and say, by the way, today I was moody and I was mean to you because I'm a Gemini and it's Gemini season.
But isn't that what like astrology really is? It's like a religion that rules you. Like it's like a...
I sort of get it, but me, I'm very, by them, I'm a very open person. I like reading about space. Like me, I'm a NASA nerd. And a lot of astrology can actually be explained away like scientifically. So like, you know, when people talk about what are they called? Like the lunar experience or like lunar, whatever you call it.
Right.
It's just gravity, man. And it's just how it affects your blood and stuff like that, you know.
So it's a green flag. It's not a white flag.
I would put a white depending on how deep into that astrology stuff.
It's deep. Like it's deep astrology.
Like the one for I speak to my...
Yes, and chakras and alignment and all of those things.
Oh, those guys are for character
development.
Oh my God.
Anybody it's just move from white to red.
No, chakra guys, but they will never take accountability. Just one thing I learned about those guys.
Okay.
They're deep into astrology, like they would rather say, I'm a Sag, and you're like that, than just be accountable. Like, I'm sorry I hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did this. So like a lot of those people actually just explain away their flaws using astrology.
They excuse their flaws.
They don't work on themselves. Like, oh my gosh, Mercury is in retrograde. No, bro, like by the way, you need to eat better foods. You need to drink some water. You need to take care of yourself.
You need to work on yourself.
You need to work on yourself. It's not about Mercury's in retrograde.
All right. Fair. Cool. That's a red flag. So the last segment of this podcast.
Yeah.
Inside this bowl are folded papers, right?
Yeah.
You pick one paper.
Okay.
Whatever the topic is on that paper.
Yeah.
You tell us a story based on the topic.
Okay. Let's do we like start around and then I pick a random one?
Yeah, I mean there are not many options. There we go. And then you read it out loud so that.
Okay. So we have the first heartbreak.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So I talk about my first heartbreak.
Tell us the story about your first heartbreak.
Well, like the first person to break my heart was the person I lost my virginity to.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How old were you?
I was like, I think I was like 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So
fair legal.
Me and her were talking. Mm-hmm. That was a time when we had the Siemens phones A30. I had an A36.
The roll-on.
Yeah, the
roll-on shaped phone.
Yeah, so we used to chat. Mm-hmm. We met at a funky. Mm-hmm. Oh no, actually, I met her through her friend. Mm-hmm. So I met her friend at a funky, and then we got introduced. And then because she was in boarding school, and I was in day school, we used to chat a lot. And sneak a phone into the dorm, and then we chat like throughout. Mm-hmm. And so when we finally decided to meet, we only saw each other for like 2 months, and then she flew out of the country for education. Mm. So like later on, I found out that, she had gone to the States before. Yeah.
She didn't tell you?
No, she...
Oh my God, that's so bad.
Yeah, so she went there when she was 16.
Yeah.
So she had met someone else when she was there.
Okay.
So this guy was also like, now maybe when she was with me, this guy felt like we're pia uliachwa. Mm-hmm. Him also pia uliachwa. Okay. So when she went back, she linked back up with that boyfriend who was there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how we stopped.
And that was the end.
Yeah, like just, and then we only smashed like once. So like when.
So were you hurt because you only smashed once, or were you hurt because you loved her and?
Because no, actually that's not. Sorry.
Hey, hoes be like, okay.
Let's rewind a bit. Just remember, that's not the one I lost my virginity to.
Hey!
But anyway, that's the first heartbreak. So anyway, we only smashed once.
Okay.
But I never, I never got, like when you lose your virginity to someone, or you have a sex with a babe for the first time, usually before you guys like really get comfortable.
So you didn't get to show your best game.
No.
So you actually had broken because you didn't get to show her your best game.
Man, they were so attached, and then we were like, I wasted so much emotion in that thing.
Oh
then,
wow!
I never got the full benefits of that relationship.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Somebody else she went back to that boyfriend of hers she met when she was 16. So after I kind of just, I guess, washed the house for him to live in.
Okay. That's what we're going to call it.
Nyumba.
Ulimuosha.
Ulitayarisha nyumba. Like I prepped everything for him, so he probably enjoyed it more than me.
Wow.
Yeah. The first time is usually like work. It's just work. It's work. Like nobody.
You have to walk them through.
Like nobody remembers like what.
That's true.
It's an experience. Like for babes, I'm sure it's just something you'd rather forget. Because it's a bit clumsy, unless it was
very clumsy.
Unless it was very special.
No, also unless it's with someone who's been doing it
Yeah.
Like for babes, a lot of babes, my first time was trash.
Yeah.
It was complete trash.
So for me, I think for that, I was her first, but she wasn't my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good story.
But that was the first real heartbreak. I have another story, but
tell me, tell me another one.
So the other one was, I guess I'd like to call it disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
I found out she had dated my friend, so it's just.
So ulikuwa through pass.
Nilikuwa through pass na sikuwa najua. Nilikuwa nafikiri niko na game, man. They psych me up. Nilikuwa nimejispsych kumbe, like, you know, when your friend dates someone and then they're okay enough for you to date that person, it usually feels like, because I don't date. Like say, okay, this babe wasn't good enough for me,
but you can have her.
You can have her, like, like you guys can be happy. Then you're like, what?
So that broke your heart? See,
they didn't tell me. I didn't know.
Okay. Then that wasn't your boy enough if you didn't know.
No, it's like, you see, this is the thing though. Like, okay, I understood him like, completely, because if you come to me and you ask me if I've dated someone, or okay, if you come to me and ask me if I've smashed someone, I won't tell you. It's not my thing to just say, yeah, I hit. I don't say it. Because if I say I hit and you like her, you probably change your opinion of how you feel about it. So I don't disclose that information.
Okay.
So you come to me and ask me, have you been like, no, I mean, when I'm like, I'll always find a way to dodge that question. Like when I'm like, I'm like.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a past. You know, you're not the first one.
But you know, when you're in love with someone, that there's a part of it that never dies. So you will always. You always have a soft spot for that person.
You see, for me, the soft spot usually, like if I love you and it dies, you know how do I say it? When ukichoma kiberiti sele unaiwasha, that sulfur bit at the top, when the whole mbao chomekas, that's the only place that remains. Now, if for me, like the love dies out like that part that remains is just respect. It's just respect. Like we exchange bodily fluids. There's things I told you I've never told anyone. So I respect you because I was
based on just that.
Based on that, because I was open enough with you to tell you things about me that I don't share with a lot of people, or I loved you enough to like let you into a place that I've not let a lot of people. So if it ends, that's sour. Like everything has a beginning and an end. But
and for me, has come to an end.
Ikiisha, inaishanga, inachomeka, alafu hiyo kitu inabaki hivi, sasa inabaki kama respect. Yeah, inabaki I respect you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Sawa basi. Thank you.
It be like that.
It do be like that.
Yeah.
Sini life.
Yeah. Kwani, like everything ends. Hata sabuni inaisha.
Hata hii episode
maisha inaisha. Hata hii
episode imeisha.
Even life ends. So like, yeah.
Thank you, Rama, for coming through. I'm hoping to have you again, by the way.
I'm always
soon,
open. I'm always open.
So that we can talk more about dating, because I mean, this podcast is about dating, and it's called Date Me. And I'm not looking. I'm not trying to, but I'm trying to have dates with the people I invite on the show. So this has been an amazing date. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your girlfriends. If you'd love to be on the show, hit me up. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Queen Gadhoni. Tell me whenever you want to come and be on the show. Bring your boyfriend. Let's talk about these things. And we're going to have a good time. Make sure you comment, you like, argue in the comments. You can also argue on my Twitter page. Thank you. We're out.
Peace.